All right, welcome in. Ages Talk Sports. We're going to be doing a dive deep into UFC main card, and we have a little special for you with a prelim look. And basically, we're just going to do a UFC pick'em show, but we're going to look into each fighter that I'm trying to pick, and hopefully I can win some money on this. But we're going to dive deep into the fighters. Going to look at their favorites, going to look at their striking, going to look at everything, going to go on their backgrounds, and kind of do a little dive deep look into each fighter that I am choosing. So first, I was going to do a little trivia question, but instead of doing that, I'm just going to say the UFC was founded in 1993. That was one of my questions, if you knew or not. When did it start? And then Dana White bought it and then changed the whole game of it, because before it used to be kind of known as a barbaric sport. And they used their fists. They didn't have any weight classes, nothing. So Dana White introduced all that. But anyways, here is a list of celebrities who own UFC shares. So this guy is number one. He first bought in a long time ago, it says, when it became illegal in the United States. And Conan O'Brien was one of the first celebrities to buy in. Ben Affleck, Tom Brady, Calvin Harris, and Jimmy Kimmel to top the list. And then there are some others that you would not have guessed. Maria Sharapova, the tennis player. So before we get into the show, I just wanted to say that. So here we go. We are going to start going down the list on the main card in the welterweight division. Randy Brown, and I can't pronounce this last guy's name, Elizu Zaleski dos Santos. Now, it's going to be a close matchup. But Randy Brown, he says he's Jamaican, so he has both nationalities. We'll get into him here in a second. So Randy Brown is a minus 180. We're just going to go over this real quick, and then I'll make my picks. So he has 7 wins by knockout, 5 wins by submission, and 4 first-round finishes. He's 18-5-0 win-loss percentage, nicknamed the Rude Boy. He just fought Salikov back in February of 2024 this year, and he's also going to be fighting June 1st another Dos Santos guy. So this is going to, last fight was UFC Fight Now. That's who he's fighting right now. Anyways, what am I thinking? June 1st. That's when it's happening. Saturday night in Newark, New Jersey. Just got done watching the UFC Embedded episode 2. I know there's a new episode out 3 coming out, so check that out if you want to see that with Dustin Poirier on it. Up to more to come on Dustin Poirier. So Brown actually won his fight against Salikov in the first round with 3 minutes and 17 seconds by KO. So I was going to look at some of his stats. We already looked at the winning percentage, 47% strike accuracy, 39% takedown accuracy. Just a little bit of stats there. And then we're going to look at Grant. I wanted to talk about him first, but Randy Brown is the first fight in the main card. I believe that starts at 10 o'clock on ESPN Plus, I believe, which I think it's on pay-per-view, obviously, with UFC 302. But the prelim look, exclusive prelim look, is Grant Dawson, February 20th, 1994 when he was born. So he's going to be a Aquarius, just like me. Another guy that I want to talk about also is in February, but I think he might be a Pisces. I'm not sure, but he was born in Cambria, Wisconsin, 5'10", lightweight featherweight division. He weighs 155 right now, fights out of Florida, an American top team presently. He has a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu under James Krause. He's been fighting since 2014. Taking a look at his background, he was born in Cambria, Wisconsin, but he grew up in Stromsburg, Nebraska, initially dreaming about playing in NFL. And then so he started wrestling to get primary ready for the sport of the NFL, but he was not good enough. And he dropped the sport, concentrated solely on wrestling. He was homeschooled into his teens and attended Cross County Community School, where he competed in high school wrestling events, and his record was 40-8 after graduating high school, skipping college due to dyslexia. So I have Grant Dawson on my pick of the prelim picks. A good dive deep into Grant Dawson, so I hope you enjoyed that one. Now, and we just talked about Randy Brown, and I have him. Now we're going to go into the next fight, and that is Nico Price. This is also in a welterweight division. Nico Price and Alex Morono. Nico Price is at plus 215. Alex Morono is a favorite at minus 265. Taking a look at Alex Morono. The Great White is his nickname. 24-9 in the welterweight division. 6 wins by knockout. 7 wins by decision. 11 first-round finishes. This guy's a freaking stud. I would not want to see him. That's all I'm saying. Looking at his fight history, it looks like, I don't know what happened with the McGee and Morono fight. It might have been canceled. Probably McGee dropped out or whatever. But Morono versus Buckley fought back on October 7th. He actually lost. Morono lost to Buckley. Buckley's a beast too, by unanimous decision. And then the last fight that he won was back in May of last year, May 13th of 2023. He won by submission in round 2. So we're going to look a closer look at Alex Morono. And here some of his, born August 16th, 1990. He's 33 years old, out of Houston, Texas. Like I said, he was a great white, 5'11", 170 pounds, fights in the middleweight and welterweight division. He will be fighting in the welterweight division Saturday night. And he's fighting out of Houston, Texas. From Houston, Texas, fighting out of Houston, Texas. And he was raised in Houston. He has 3 brothers. Alex's parents bought him a membership to LA Boxing Gym, where he began training in 2007. And eventually noticing a jiu-jitsu class. He joined that, went on to join the class, and was instantly hooked to the discipline. Morono also holds a professional kickboxing record of 1-0. And Morono cited the Matrix movie, which is one of my favorite movies, The Matrix, with Keanu Reeves, for his inspiration to the MMA. And Morono and his wife Janice co-own the Gracie Barra, the Woodlands Gym. I'm sure that's in Houston. Mixed martial arts record 24-9. And that is Alex Morono. Now we're going to take a closer look at Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland versus Michael Oleszczyk. I don't even know how to pronounce that name. He's from Poland. I did see a little piece on him where he came to New York and he was really happy about the freedom and the Statue of Liberty, and he loves New York, it says. Middleweight class, middleweight division. Kevin Holland is a number 15th middleweight in the world, and he's also favored at a minus 305. So taking a look at him, 14 wins by knockout, 7 wins by submission, 12 first-round finishes. The guy can finish when he wants to. 25-11. I saw him on that show where he looks a little bit kind of thicker, but he still looks good. I said 25-11. I told you that. Holland versus Page was the last matchup. That was back in March of this year, and he actually lost to Page by unanimous decision. And he lost to Della back in September of 2023 by a split decision. So Kevin Holland's going to get hungry. He's either feast or famine on this fight. He's got to turn himself around, and hopefully he does against that Polish guy, the Poland Power. Got to watch out for that. So hopefully Kevin Holland can pick his chances in and out, and move quicker than he can. That's what I'm hoping. All right, so now we're going to take a closer look, a dive deep into Kevin Holland. Diving deep is the premise of today's show. And obviously, as my title suggests, is the UFC Pick'em show, and we'll get to that here in a second. Born November 5th, 1992, in the welterweight division, 31 years old, out of Riverside, California, nicknamed the Trailblazer, 6'3" at 170. That's crazy because I'm 6'1" and I can't get down to 170 if my life depended on it. But middleweight, welterweight, fighting out of Fort Worth, Texas. A second-degree black belt in Kung Fu and a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu under Travis Lutter. He's been fighting since 2015. Taking a look at his background, like I said, out of Riverside, California, was raised mostly by his grandparents out of Rancho Cucamonga and Ontario. His mother has been in and out of jail, and his dad has been incarcerated throughout Holland's life. Holland attended Los Osos High School and Chaffey College. Holland started martial arts when he was 16 and was a fan of George St. Pierre. Fell in love with the sport in UFC 100. While he was visiting his father out in Philadelphia. He's married with his wife Charlize back in 2019. And I'm going to tell you some of the heroics that he has had over the years. Starting back in October 2021, Holland stopped an alleged carjacking in his neighborhood. In March of 2022, he and his training partner stopped a shooting at a Houston restaurant. He did a rear naked choke on the guy when his shots were fired. May 2022, Holland revealed that he had rescued a driver from an overturned tractor trailer. Holland had watched the driver speed up and lose control while joining the freeway and sliding off the embankment. Holland got out of his car and got the man out of the truck, which was leaking fluid that Holland feared was going to have an explosion. So Kevin Holland, our local hero out of Riverside, California. Now we're going to take a closer look at my boy. I follow him on Instagram. I've been rooting for him for a couple years now. I post on there. I message him. I comment to him. He hasn't responded to me yet, so hopefully, Sean Strickland, if you happen to see some of my comments or my show, holler at your boy. Sean Strickland's the number one middleweight out in the world today, and I think he got hosed against a prelims fight, but he is favored over Paulo Costa, and this is going to be a banger. Someone's probably going to get knocked out in the first 30 seconds. I know that these guys are going to be slinging the leather. I know Sean says that he's not that powerful, but he'll drop your ass if he needs to. So we're going to take a little bit of Sean Strickland. 11 wins by knockout, 4 wins by submission, 9 first-round finishes. He's a golden boy. I love him. He's a country dude at heart. I love everything he says. He runs his mouth. He talks shit. I love it. 28-6 is his record. He lost, like I said, to Duplessis back in January of this year, and that was a split decision. But I always said, if you are the champion, you do not lose by a split decision. This is ridiculous. The judges need to get kicked out and fired. You never, ever lose to a decision in the MMA if you're the champion. That's all I'm saying. The guy's a punk. And I hope Sean Strickland gets to come back and fight Duplessis again. But it's going to be a long road. Even after he wins this fight against Paulo Costa, this looks like Duplessis already has a fight lined up this year, too, to defend his title. So the middleweight division is going to be up for grabs. It's going to be tough. And I don't know. I just hope that he kicks his ass. I hope he beats everybody. I already have him winning against Paulo Costa. And we're going to take a closer look, dive deep into Sean Strickland. And let's see, born in Anaheim, California, February 27, 1991. Like I told you, he's another February birthday. But I don't know where the cutoff is, where it goes from Aquarius to Pisces or whatever. But I think he's an Aquarius too. I'm just saying he's an Aquarius. So he's 33, Anaheim, California. Nicknamed the Tarzan, is 6'1". Me and him are the exact same height. Not the same weight, though. I want to be 185 again. I wish I could be 185 again. I just got to bust my ass to get there. Middleweight division, welterweight division. He's also in the light heavyweight division, but he's currently in the middleweight, obviously. And he's fighting right now out of Extreme Couture, Eric Nixick. And he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu as well. He's been fighting since 2008. He's been around for a while. Dude's a beast. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about his life here. 2017, Strickland's father died of cancer at the age of 50. According to Strickland, his father was physically and psychologically abusive to both him and his mom. In December 2018, Strickland was hit by a car while he was riding his motorcycle in L.A., rendering him unconscious. He suffered numerous injuries and a knee operation after the incident. And Strickland's one of his close friends is UFC middleweight Chris Curtis, which you'll see on the UFC embedded there. Chris Curtis always gets under his skin. But I love Sean Strickland. I want him to come back. He's a good guy. He should win this fight against Paulo Costa. He's going to be pressuring him the whole entire time. And I think it's going to eventually wear him down. And then we're going to go into the main event here, the lightweight title bout, championship bout with Islam Makhachev versus Dustin Poirier. And I've always liked Dustin the Diamond Poirier, so I'm picking Dustin the Diamond Poirier. We're going to recap this up here in a second. But Dustin the Diamond Poirier, he's getting older. He's 16 wins by knockout, 7 wins by submission, 13 first-round finishes, but he's still got it. He's still climbing that ladder, and he wants it. He's 30-8 overall. He beat Saint Denis rather quickly in the second round by knockout in 2 minutes and 32 seconds back in March. So coming off of a big win, he's ready to rock and roll, even though he lost to Gaethje back in July of last year. So I think he's going to be stepping his game up. Still lives in Lafayette, and he's going to be, I'm going to be talking to him. He comes, so what he does is he goes back and forth between fights. So he stays in Lafayette, Louisiana, and then he goes to South Florida. I think it's American Top Team where he trains at. But his wife's Jolie Poirier. He's only 5'9". Since 2012, and he was at a Gladiators Academy back before that. He's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu under Tim Credor, and like I said, he's been fighting since 2009. His first tattoo was when he was 14. He's got a lot of chest and arm tattoos. And then he shows one here as a Japanese tattoo. It says the way of the warrior. And I think he's got that, definitely shows he's over the years that he's got that warrior mentality. He's got that warrior spirit. And I think he's going to win this fight. And that's what I want. I want him to get the title back. I love the guy. He's going to beat the Russian. But Islam, if he's smart, he's going to try to take him down. Russian fighters all they do is just grapple all the time. All they have to do is have a decent stand-up game and then take you down to the ground and keep you there and then win the fight. That's pretty much what he does. But Islam is a beast on the stand-up and on the ground. So we're going to go back to the first fight on the welterweight bout. Randy Brown versus Dos Santos. And I got the American-Jamaican Randy Brown winning deep in the fighters that I've picked. Hopefully you guys have a good day. Love you guys. God bless. What do? Tip the waitress.